Hi, I'm Andrew Berman from NMP, and we are here at the Mohegan Sun. So great to be back at the New England Mortgage Expo. And with me, I've got Kerry Blackburn, who's with MEC, he's the national trainer, but he's also a mortgage broker. So this is awesome because, listen, if you've watched me before, you know actually I love the mortgage broker. You know actually I definitely, without my father was a mortgage broker. I love the spirit of the mortgage broker. I love actually the optionality that mortgage brokers have. And I love actually that you are actually bringing your experience as a mortgage broker, but so you aren't always a mortgage broker.
Nope.
And we're going to talk about what brokers are learning actually, from Kerry with the Build a Broker program that we're presenting here at the New England Mortgage Expo and at all of our other events throughout the country. We're going to talk about that, but I want to know actually what led to the decision from you to be working for as a retail MLO to become a mortgage broker. This is 2019, right?
Yeah, that's when I became a licensed mortgage broker. I've been in the business since 2000. And I think it's just a journey for most loan officers. It's a great way to get started and to learn how the business works. But for me, after a while, I knew that this is something that I could do. There are things you can't control as a mortgage loan officer. You can't control certain aspects of your file. And there may be pay structures, tiers that may definitely affect your income.
Yeah.
So with all that together, it was something, I typically thrive on my own. I do better on my own because my borrowers get to know me versus that.
So your book of business was all self-generated?
Self-generated, and then from there it was also referrals, so yeah.
So what was the biggest obstacle you had when you became a mortgage broker? So here you are, actually, you have a big bank behind you, actually, they're taking care of your compliance, they're taking care of all your worries, actually, all you got to do is go out and originate loans. But what was the biggest obstacle that you faced when you actually, went from being actually working for a mortgage bank to flying on your own? So month number one, blinking cursor, the ink is wet in your license, and what are you worried about?
I think the biggest thing was compliance, because in Arizona, where I'm licensed, the states, from what I understand, don't give a lot of the step-by-step things that you need to do to become a broker. No. You are finding this out on your own as you go.
Yeah.
As far as compliance goes, there is no checklist. I've checked with them. There is no checklist, which is why this was a passion for me, to find out what it is that I can do, what I've learned through pain and gain, and be able to convey that to new wannabe brokers or brokers that are just starting. Yeah.
Might not be a checklist, but there's a list of exhibits if you screw up. So that's
oh boy, and they will find you. Absolutely.
Great. So here you are. You realize actually compliance was the one thing that you worried about.
It's what every broker worries about. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's, listen, that is actually, because you don't have, as a broker, the ability actually, to write checks. You don't have the ability to shut down because you are actually, how many people are in your mortgage brokerage company?
So for now, I'm a single mortgage broker. I do everything all the way. Would I like to add loan officers? Yeah, at some point, but this national teaching situation has kind of changed that. So I still do my book of business. I'm active as a licensed mortgage broker, and then I do this as well. So whether that's going to translate into LOs down the road, I'm not sure. But the one thing I can tell you is that this has been probably the most rewarding thing I've ever done.
Oh my goodness, wow.
Literally, because even though there's more work on my plate, yes, I can hire a third-party processor, which I plan on doing, to take more of the load off of me. But to be able to learn it initially from processing, I don't make underwriting decisions, but processing, I know the ins and outs of this file. My borrower calls, I can tell them exactly where things are. I know exactly what's happening, and my closings, I don't work the 11th hour either. A lot of LOs, because of the structure of the company, they work the 11th hour.
Yeah.
And I don't, so I coast into my loans. So
interesting. So you have more control over the process.
I do.
It sounds like you have more confidence over the process. Because it's more predictable because you are controlling it. You're deciding what kind of technology you're using. You're deciding all these actually things and you know your borrowers, so you know the journey that they want to go through.
I know the journey they want to go through, so let's not confuse this as being a controlling person. This is controlling a file so that you know exactly what's to be expected. And if you set that expectation with your borrower, they love you for it. And the transparency is what they all love. And it's when a loan officer doesn't have the answers. Well, I don't know where the file is. Well, they just make up something. This is why this industry gets a bad rap, is because they don't have the answers to give, and it sounds like they're double speaking or whatever. Here, the buck stops with me. I know what's happening. Let's get this done. And I mean, for me, it's really been rewarding. More compliance, more reporting, but that's minuscule compared to the money that you're making. And the reward of having repeat clients. Seriously,
you're building your own brand.
You're totally building it. You're exactly.
I think that's a great thing. So, so talk to us. So you're here actually yesterday for part of the pre-conference events. You could actually attended the Build a Broker session. If you haven't attended a Build a Broker session, because listen, this is not just about actually, I know actually people see this, they think this is great actually if you want to become a broker, but even actually if you're already an established broker, I think actually this is great content because we don't know if we're doing all the things the right way. And learning actually, from someone actually who's a mortgage broker that works for an education and compliance company, I think actually it's a great perspective actually to, even if you've been doing this business for 20 years to come back, talk to us about the content that you present in the Build a Broker session.
So I won't go into everything, but I will say this much. When you're starting out as a mortgage broker, the first things to consider is, what kind of a name am I going to have? And your name should have what you do in your name. It should say something about lending. So my company is Discovery Home Finance. Well, it's financing. I'm financing homes. Discovery, a good name. It's a little long, but it's memorable. And so you want to avoid silly names like the Loan Arranger or the Mortgage Whisperer. I'm not saying anything's wrong, but you want to avoid the comical things that people might not take you professionally. And so with that in mind, you lock down your domain, and then you lock down your articles of incorporation, and you get your EIN number because you can't operate without a tax ID number. And then from there, you start building your accounting, get that, there's so much technology-wise available to us that makes our life so much easier as far as the whole process. And I will say, one of the best things as a broker that most brokers don't know is that the wholesale lenders and their reps do so much for us. They take the load off of us so that it's easy to originate. It's easy to upload and move on to the next file. And most brokers don't know that. And that's why they're hesitant about even jumping into this.
And the top wholesale lenders, really do so much hand-holding, give you great technology, give you free resources. So
it's amazing.
Yeah, it is truly just a great resource. So basically, go to Build a Broker session. You'll be able to get everything you need to know actually, so you can become actually a mortgage broker or be a better mortgage broker, and lean on actually wholesale lenders to kind of help you actually get up to speed. So listen, I'm excited. I'm excited actually that we get to actually hang out with a mortgage broker who knows what it's like, who's gone recently through the transition. So it's
to pass it on.
Kerry, thank you so much for joining us.
Appreciate it. Take care.
And I'm Andrew Berman from NMP. Thank you for watching.